Hey guys. Tina, say hi. Hey, I was laying here thinking about tomorrow's day 2 of week 3 lesson about how God speaks through His Word, and I thought of a great illustration that I wanted to share. Also, not only how He speaks through His Word, but how He speaks through circumstances in the world to communicate directly to us. So, Tina and I, was that last summer?
Yes.
Last summer, the kids walked down to the Dollar General, and they came back with the cutest pit bull puppy you have ever seen.
It was a pit bull boxer mix.
Yeah, we don't know what it was, but we named it Boba, and Boba was a super cute dog, super fun. Loved the kids. We had so much fun with him.
Well, her.
Her.
Her?
Yes.
Misgendered the dog. Anyway, except she was real skittish around Tina specifically.
Yeah.
Me, she was okay with me, but the twins too. Real standoffish, skittish, nervous, and as the summer progressed, she got a little bit more aggressive, to the point that
What was that actually over like a week period where she got more aggressive at the end?
a week after we had her,
No, toward Christmas.
Hey, Mom.
towards Christmas, yeah. So we don't know what it was. But to one point, Tina even called me and was like, "Hey, look, the dog,
Use
is
some salt water.
acting weird and I'm a little nervous." So I was like, "Oh wow, okay, this is getting serious." So then one day, the dog, anytime Boba would see another dog or animal or cat, she would just freak out, like was uncontrollable, growling, barking, just going nuts. And so one day, a neighbor who had a dog would always walk his dog Sarah across our front yard. Boba would go hysterical. Well, one day that neighbor decided he would bring Sarah up to our front door. So when he did that, our dog was upstairs, and a door to our house is at the bottom of the stairs. And I don't think I'm gonna describe. Anyway, the whole thing was a blur, but Boba ended up, in the process of the chaos, biting one of our youngest girls. Huge chunk out of her arm. And so Tina instantly calls me. I come home. I take, it was Jess, to take her to the med check. Tina somehow miraculously gets the dog in a room, shuts the door, and so a bunch of stitches later. No, they didn't do stitches. They glued her, didn't they? Anyway.
That dissolved.
Yeah, anyway, so we knew the dog, couldn't stay at our house anymore. So we took her to the shop, and she lived at the shop like 3 weeks. We called all the animal
4 weeks.
places in town. We called the vet. We called and everywhere we turned, no one wanted to take her because she'd bit somebody, and we didn't feel comfortable giving her to somebody because she had bitten somebody, so she wasn't really a safe dog. And so
no one wanted to put her down.
Nobody would put her down because she was wasn't a year old.
She was a year old.
She was just a year old, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
So we were in this spot like, what do we do? And so I have a friend who said, "Jason, I can take care of your problem for you." And so I thought long and hard. We decided we would let him enter into our suffering and take care of our Boba. And so the day came that we had decided on, and I was at the shop alone. And one of my friends had said, you need to give the dog Benadryl. Give the dog a bunch of Benadryl. The dog will go to sleep, and then it'll be a lot easier. So I tried that. I gave the dog Benadryl, and the dog, like a half hour went by, the dog was acting normal. And then, like 45 minutes in, she started kind of shaking, like she was trying to stay awake, but she was okay. And then it started to sit in, like, oh my goodness, this is really happening. And I remember thinking, you're going to come home without Boba, and all your kids are going to be like, where's the dog? And you're going to have to explain what you did without communicating with them. And I was like, that's a bad idea. So Ilaria, so three of the middle oldest were at my mom and dad's house sitting. So I called Ilaria, my oldest daughter, and I kind of explained to her what we were doing, and she hung up on me. She was really mad. So I texted her and I said, do you want to see Boba? And she said yes. So put Boba in the car, and the car ride always makes a dog excited, so she wasn't tired. She was wide awake, going crazy, because she hadn't been out of the shop other than walks for like a week or 3 weeks or whatever it was. So I roll up to my dad's house, and my dad and my mom have a dog that Boba knows is there. And so she gets out of the car and she's going crazy. She's all excited. There's a dog, new place. Then she sees the kids. They come out and they're all crying. Then I'm crying. It's just a mess. The dog's excited and I'm crying and they're crying. And I say, do you think Boba would be more comfortable? Because she's obviously not going to sleep. I mean, we're doing all this stuff. So I said, do you think that Boba would be more comfortable at the house? And then the kids could say goodbye too. And so they all decided that would be a good thing. So we get back in the car, which is exciting to Boba. Drive to the house. She comes in. She's thrilled. She's not tired at all. She's going nuts. All the kids are coming up. Talk to the kids. Explain what we're doing. They're hysterical, crying. Everybody's just a mess. And there's one point where Boba goes and lays down in front of the window, and I look over and I see her, and I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, she's going to go to sleep. And then one of the kids walks up and pets her, and she's right back up. She's still doing that shaky thing. So my buddy texts me and he says, I'm ready if you can head over this way. And I realize this is the moment. And so I take the 3 middle kids and I'm like, you guys can come with me. And we get Boba and we start walking out the door. And of course, everybody's following me. They're all in tears. They're looking at me like, we don't want you to do this. And then they start asking if they can come. And I'm like, okay, all right, get in the van.
And I was not feeling well, so I was sleeping through all of this. So I wasn't a part of any of it, but.
Yeah. So, Boba has a ride with all the family. Boba's excited. She's not sleepy. And we have about a 25-minute car ride or van ride. We pull up on my buddy's farm, and he has a dog. Boba's very excited about his dog. And they start barking at each other, and I realize Boba's not going to sleep. Like, this is not really the best scenario. So I get out of the van, and my friend looks at me, and he goes, his exact words, dude, you brought your whole family? And I was like, look, man, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Like, it's going to work out. let's just take it. Let's just do it. Okay. And so he puts his dog up. He's got this 4-wheeler. He's like, okay, well, bring the dog. You know, I got a spot picked out. So I tell the littles to stay at the van by the barn. Me and Ariston Noble and Ilario, we walk the dog down, and I tell them, okay, we're going to walk the dog to the fence line, and then you guys will go back to the van, and then me and Mr. Dave are going to take care of this, okay? And so me and Dave, you know, after they turn, I see the three of them walking back. Boba looks at them.
Are you going to do all the details to this whole?
I probably shouldn't do all the details.
Probably not all the details.
Won't do all the details. So Boba looks at them, looks at me, and I think she realizes, like, they're leaving. And so, but then she sees a squirrel or something, and she's good. Because we start walking towards the woods. And so we get up, and when it's all said and done, we wrap Boba in a tarp that he's got, and I go up and I get the kids, and I bring him down, and we all dig Boba's grave together. And then we gather around and we say get to share about Boba, and we talk, and it's just a beautiful time.
Makes everyone sad still, Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. But it was just a beautiful time.
You need big hugs.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
Here.
That's so sad.
I think you should tell a story in front of you.
I didn't think about him being there. You okay, buddy?
You alright? He said he is. He said he's okay.
Okay.
He nodded his head.
He's okay. Okay. So then, we sent him back up to the barn, and me and Dave went ahead and buried Boba, and that was really hard. Like, there's still, you can tell there's still, you know, that's been, I don't know, 6 months maybe, and it still is hard, but it was a super hard decision too. So, but the next day I felt like I wanted to text my friend Dave and let him know, you know, what you did for us was so huge, and it was an example of Christ. There's a verse that I was going to text him this verse. It's about entering into the fellowship of each other's sufferings, and when we do that, when we go into each other's sufferings and enter into that, we become one in the suffering, and we can hold each other and help each other through it. So I was looking for that verse to text him, and I found the verse, and I looked up where it was, and then I was searching for it in the chapter, and I came across these words. It said, "Beware of the evildoers, the mutilators, beware of the evildoers, the dogs that mutilate the flesh." Beware of the evildoers, the dogs who mutilate the flesh. And it was like God took his word and just put it right in my heart. Like he was saying, you did the right thing. I was standing in front of the stove when that happened, and I turned, and Tina was in the dining room, and as I stepped towards her to show her that verse, God had spoken to her through a circumstance. And she says to me, "Did you see this story in the news about that pit bull? The owner of that pit bull that attacked the neighbors, that got loose. A pit bull got loose, attacked the neighbor's 8-year-old daughter, killed her. 7? Was it 7? 7-year-old daughter killed the girl. The police came and arrested the dog owner. And so in that 30 seconds, minute, whatever it was, God used his word, the Bible, and a circumstance at the same instant communicated to us, look, you did the right thing. Like, you did the right thing. As hard as it was on everybody, you did the right thing. And so that night we sat down and had a meeting, a family meeting, and we talked about it. And we talked about how God spoke to us and shared that with the kids. And it was still hard, like it wasn't easy, but just to know that God was in our pain, walking through our experience, writing the end of our story, and then communicating how he felt about that he was okay, that we did the right thing. It's just incredible. So, well, I hope you got something from that. I knew it was a long story, and I couldn't probably have time to share it on Saturday. So, hope you guys are enjoying this week Rooted, and I'll probably post another outline or whatever tomorrow. So, peace. You want to say goodbye? Guess not. See you.